What is this? Where am I? Let's go. As you may have guessed from the change of surroundings and the gigantic room back there, I am back home for Christmas, but you already knew that, Zach. Getting here was an adventure. Got up at like 3:30 a.m. last Friday in Salt Lake, and then I got on tracks at 5:30. Then I got to the airport at like 6:30, and then I got through security, and I was done by like 7:30. I was sitting at the gate, and then the plane was supposed to leave at 8:30, but there were electrical issues, so we actually left about half an hour late. But then we flew fast, and we landed in Portland on time, which meant I had 7 hours until the train to come here. So I took the Max across Portland from the airport to the train station, which is like on the opposite side of Portland. And I got lunch, and then I sat in the train station for 5 or 6 hours waiting for the train to be ready to leave, because that's when the train was scheduled. I read a lot of Sherlock Holmes, and I played around on this app on my phone called Pleco, which is for like Chinese vocab. I didn't really get any better. I learned a couple of words, like, I've already told you this, but panda is xiong mao or mao xiong, which means bear cat or cat bear. Mao is cat and xiong is bear. This is me gesturing the tones to remind myself which tone I'm supposed to be saying, because they're not, natively parts of words in my head. The train was supposed to leave from Portland at 4:45 Portland time. About 5 Portland time, they told us that they needed to change the engine, which we left Portland around an hour and 15 minutes later. So we were an hour and a half late leaving Portland, and then it took us an hour to get to Vancouver, so we lost another half hour there. And then less than an hour from Pasco, we stopped on the tracks and sat there for like an hour and a half, because there was broken track that we needed to go around, and because we were like an hour and a half late out of Portland, we'd lost all of our priority, because Amtrak doesn't own any of the tracks, so the freight trains always get priority over the passenger trains. And then we showed up in Pasco 3 hours late, 11:45 on Friday night. So as far as I was concerned, it was like 1 a.m. and I'd been up for 22 and a half hours, which was quite interesting. And then I got home, I went to bed, I got up on Saturday. That is how I got home. Before that, it's been finals week, which is kind of why I didn't do a video last week on accident. I was studying at some friend's house, and I ended up staying over at their house Tuesday to Wednesday because it was late and the trains and the roads were bad, and I didn't even think about the fact that I needed to go home. So I was at their house from like 2 on Tuesday to like midnight on Wednesday, like 12:01 on Thursday. Well, I left like midnight, Wednesday to Thursday midnight, due to roads and stuff and what was good to go when and what I needed to do and all of that. So that's why there was no video last week. Monday of last week, I spent like the whole day with my friend Sarah, who has given me permission to say her name, which is why I am. If anybody else I know wants me to mention them in videos, tell me. you're okay with me talking about you. We spent like the whole day hanging out, studied down at my friend's house, and then she had a review for her government class, and I didn't really have anything I needed to do, so I went, and it was really interesting, and it was weird because apparently it felt very much like the rest of the class, according to Sarah. It was the interesting, and I feel like I should be asking questions, but I don't know what questions to ask. And it was kind of frustrating, but it was also really interesting. And then we both needed to go. We were kind of reminding each other the whole day. We both needed to go to the store because I needed to get body wash, and she has like super crazy curly hair, so she needed to get mousse for controlling her hair. Saturday, not like a couple of days ago, but like last week, because I'm apparently traveling back in time, I got to talk to my friend in Japan, which was really cool because I haven't really talked to her at all since like we graduated. Like, I feel like the last time I really talked to her was at graduation, and then we just kind of disappeared. Our time zones are totally different, so it was like Sunday morning for her, and she had some free time, and it was Saturday evening for me, and I had free time. And that was really cool, because I have not talked to her in a long time. I find it amusing how Japanese her brain is, though. Like, she really likes the Japanese language, and you can tell that her brain wants to process things like Japanese does way more than like English does. Since I've been back here, on Monday I got to go to school, your high school, and talk to teachers that I hadn't seen, and I spent a couple of hours talking to them, and that was pretty cool. We talked about, what I'm enjoying about school and like advice and what they did in school and all of that. And then I went back again today because the senior teachers invited a bunch of, like, any of the grads who wanted to come to talk during advisory. Just, like, talk to people, be like, hey, I'm back! And give advice and things like that. That was interesting because I didn't know what I was getting into. I was just like, okay, I'll show up and talk, I guess. And then after school we walked around and talked to most of the teachers, the ones that we'd had previously, so not any of all of your new teachers. Really, like, we said hi to a couple of them, but only in passing. Tomorrow we're going to go watch Force Awakens, and I am so excited, and yeah, so I need to go, because I think we're going to go finish watching Star Wars, the original trilogy. So Zach, have an excellent week.